The MGM Grand was one of the casinos that got hit, and it all started with a phone call. He convinced them to reset a password, and that gave him access to all of the internal systems. GM later confirmed that it lost more than $100 million in revenue.
In September 2025, the world saw headlines scream that Vegas casinos had lost $100 million to a teenage hacker. But here's what the news didn't tell you: that dramatic cyber attack was just the beginning. While MGM and Caesars claimed disaster, within weeks they quietly launched the biggest revenue grab Vegas has ever seen. The so-called loss became a billion-dollar windfall paid for by tourists, locals, and anyone who thought Vegas odds were the only game rigged. So how did a one-time heist turn into your permanent bill? Let's follow the money. September 10th, 2023, MGM Resorts plunges into chaos. Guests flood the lobby, key cards dead in their hands. Slots freeze mid-spin, screens blinking error codes. Reservation lines jammed, staff locked out of their own systems. For 10 days, the world's largest casino operator is paralyzed. Bellagio, Aria, Mandalay Bay, every major strip property grinds to a halt. The attack isn't some high-tech movie hack. It starts with a phone call. A teenager, part of an online crew called Scattered Spider, poses as an MGM employee. He finds a name on LinkedIn, calls IT support, and in less than 10 minutes gets a password reset. That's all it takes. Full access to internal systems. Chat logs later show the ringleader bragging about how easy it was. No code, no malware, just confidence and a convincing voice. Within hours, the impact is everywhere. Hotel doors won't open. Guests wait for hours in the lobby, some sleeping on couches, others demanding refunds. Slot machines and ATMs are offline. Staff can't clock in or out, can't access payroll, can't communicate with management. Restaurants run on paper tickets, gambling floors echo with silence. The Strip, built on 24/7 action stalls. MGM's losses mount by the minute. Canceled bookings, abandoned tables, empty showrooms. The company files with the SEC, $100 million gone to downtime and disruption. Caesars, hit days earlier, quietly pays a ransom after its own loyalty database is stolen, up to 65 million members exposed. The hacker, barely out of high school, is arrested 2 years later. Prosecutors push to try him as an adult. His method? Social engineering, not technical wizardry. He learned the tricks on Discord, traded phishing kits in Telegram groups, and wanted to prove he could take down a giant. When police confront him with chat transcripts and crypto wallets, he confesses. For days, the public roots for the casinos. Headlines call it a digital heist. Comment sections fill with jokes about the house finally losing. But inside those hotels, the mood is panic. No one knows how long the blackout will last. No one can say what else the hackers have. And as the outage drags on, one question grows louder. Who will pay the price for all this chaos? MGM's $100 million loss lands in the headlines with a thud. SEC filings spell out the number in black and white. Downtime, remediation, lost bookings, legal bills. No mention of stolen cash, no vaults emptied, just a line item for business interruption. The 8K report calls it a material adverse impact, a phrase that sounds clinical until you remember the chaos on the casino floor. On Wall Street, analysts comb through the numbers. One notes, it's a hit but not a knockout. They'll make it back. During the next earnings call, MGM's CFO assures investors the company is well-positioned to absorb the impact and committed to long-term growth. The tone is calm, practiced. There's talk of resilience, enhanced security, and operational excellence. No one mentions the blackout's human cost. No one asks about the guests who slept in lobbies or the workers who missed paychecks. Behind closed doors, the conversation shifts. Internal memos describe the breach as a wake-up call, a reason to recalibrate revenue streams. One Wall Street analyst, quoted anonymously in trade press, puts it bluntly, $100 million is a rounding error in Vegas. The real money is in the fees. The public story is all about recovery and investment. The private story is about opportunity. There's a pattern here. In the months after the breach, resort fees climb. Food and beverage prices jump. Loyalty programs tighten. When asked about the timing, executives point to industry standards and inflationary pressures. Press releases promise enhanced guest experiences and digital transformation. The cyber attack becomes a catch-all for every new charge and every downgraded benefit. The message to investors is simple: the house always wins. To everyone else, it's a story of loss, one that's quickly replaced by a new math, where the pain is quietly passed on, dollar by dollar, to the people least able to fight back. 62 out of 90 hotels in Las Vegas now charge resort fees, with rates running from $35 to $55 a night. Not a single Strip property is fee-free. At MGM's flagship resorts, the premium tier fee is now $55 per night, up $5 from last year. Mid-tier properties charge $50. Budget hotels, $45. The increases look small on paper, but multiply fast. 12 MGM Strip hotels, each with 3,000 rooms, average 76% occupancy. That's 27,000 rooms filled every night. $5 extra per room per night adds up to $135,000 every single day. Over a year, that's nearly $50 million in new revenue just from the fee hike alone. Factor in the baseline rate, and MGM's annual take from resort surcharges reaches $300 million. Guests pay for Wi-Fi, gym access, even bottled water. The fees are mandatory, listed in fine print, charged whether you gamble or not. Industry-wide, these surcharges now deliver more profit than some casino floors. What started as a nuisance has become a profit engine. The math is relentless. A family booking 3 nights at a mid-tier property pays $150 in resort fees before even touching a slot machine. Reddit threads and travel blogs are filled with screenshots, receipts where the fee exceeds the advertised room rate. While executives cite inflation and enhanced guest experience, the real enhancement is to the bottom line. For every headline about a $100 million cyber attack, there's a silent daily harvest from the wallets of ordinary visitors. A single buffet ticket at Circus Circus in 1994 cost $3.99. Adjusted for inflation, that plate should run about $8.46 today. Instead, the 2025 price is $25 to $32, a jump of nearly 300%. At the Strip's luxury resorts, buffet prices stretch to $92 per person. Viral TikTok clips show travelers holding up receipts: $18 for a bottle of water, $33 for a coffee and bagel at Fontainebleau. One Reddit user posts, "I paid more for breakfast than my flight here." These aren't isolated markups. Food and beverage prices across Vegas have climbed about 15% year over year, far outpacing national inflation. With 40 million visitors a year, that extra margin pulls in nearly $900 million annually, almost 9 times the casino's cyber attack loss. Menu archives tell the same story. What used to be an affordable splurge is now a sticker shock moment. A family of 4 can drop over $200 for a single buffet, not including drinks or tip. Casinos blame supply chain cost, labor, and industry standards. But travelers see a pattern. Every new viral bill, every social post about $100 buffets adds fuel to the outrage. The math is simple. The house lost $100 million. Now it's getting paid back by the very people who keep Vegas running. Loyalty used to mean something in Las Vegas. For years, regulars counted on perks: free rooms, generous free play, lounge access, and the feeling that repeat business actually paid off. That promise is gone. Since the cyber attack, the math behind every rewards program has changed, always in the house's favor. MGM Rewards slashed resort credits in half. What was once a $100 credit for a weekend stay now maxes out at $50. Free play offers, the bread and butter for slot players, have been gutted, down 70 to 80% from just 2 years ago. Gold members who used to bank on a comped room any weekend now find blackout dates on nearly every Friday and Saturday. Caesars Rewards followed suit. Diamond lounges, once a refuge for frequent gamblers, are shuttered. Dining redemptions now cost twice as many points for the same meal. Tier benefits have shrunk, even as spending requirements climb higher each year. A chart making the rounds on Vegas forums tells the story in numbers. In 2022, 20,000 points got you a comp night at the Mirage. Now that same night can cost 35,000 points if you can find a date without blackout restrictions. Reddit threads are filled with angry travelers. My offers are a joke. I'm spending more, getting less, and the only thing that's upgraded is my bill. One veteran loyalty member puts it bluntly, they used the hack as an excuse to wipe out the perks. Now the rewards are just marketing. For millions of guests, loyalty has become a losing bet. MGM eliminates 34 concierge jobs in one sweep. The company calls it a digital upgrade. On the casino floor, the change feels like something else. Guests now check in through kiosks lined up in the lobby. Room keys, dinner reservations, and show tickets all flow through an app. The face-to-face moments that made Vegas famous. Gone, replaced by a glowing screen and a help button that leads to a chatbot. Staff who once handled special requests or fixed problems in person are told to cross-train or take severance. At the Venetian and Palazzo, 50 executive roles vanish. Dealers and porters across the Strip are let go as automated tables and mobile ordering roll out. Industry analysts estimate that a majority of guest interactions, maybe 60 to 70%, now happen through apps or kiosks. Some executives pitch this as efficiency. For workers, it means fewer hours, fewer tips, and the constant threat of being replaced by the next software update. Union reps call these layoffs upgrades for the balance sheet. One former concierge says, "My job didn't get automated, it just disappeared. That's enough to change the city's identity." For every new digital feature, there's another worker left wondering how long their paycheck will last. The drive for efficiency isn't just about cost. It's about who gets left behind when a crisis becomes an excuse for permanent change. A casino guest sits at her kitchen table, a letter from MGM in her hand. Her social security number, driver's license, and passport, all exposed in the breach. She's told she can file for a payout, $20 to $75 depending on the paperwork. The total settlement pool is $45 million. For some, that's less than the cost of a single night's resort fee. For others, it won't even cover the credit monitoring they now need for life. Caesars' breach was worse. 65 million loyalty members caught in the dragnet. Victims report fake accounts, denied loans, surprise bills. The risk is permanent. The compensation is pocket change. Even if you dodge identity theft, you're still paying. Every ATM on the Strip now takes a $12 bite per withdrawal. Restaurant bills carry a mandatory service charge, hidden until the check arrives. Parking, once free, now adds $2 a day. A bottle of water costs $18. Resort fees climb year after year, always justified as security or guest experience. These charges aren't optional. They're built into the system, multiplying with every guest, every night, every meal. Executives call it resilience. For customers, it's a slow bleed. The casinos lost $100 million once. Now the cost is spread across millions of wallets. Tourists, business travelers, locals. The real jackpot isn't in the vaults. It's in the small print, the surcharges, the hidden fees that never go away. On a Thursday afternoon in July, the Strip feels emptier than it should. Visitor numbers are down 12% from last summer, 6 straight months of decline. For the people who call Las Vegas home, that number isn't just a statistic. It means fewer shifts, lighter tip jars, and more anxiety at the end of every pay period. A bartender at a mid-tier casino says her tips have dropped by nearly 20% since the cyber attack. Dealers at Fontainebleau and Resorts World talk about entire tables sitting empty on weekends that used to be packed. Union representatives describe a city running on stress. The message from management is always the same: do more with less. Fewer guests means fewer hours, and the threat of layoffs never feels far away. At MGM, the loss of 34 concierge jobs was just the beginning. Executives call it digital transformation. Locals call it losing a lifeline. Rent in Clark County is up again this year, but hourly wages haven't moved. For service workers, the math gets tighter every month. A single mother working valet at a Strip property says her hours were cut after automation replaced half her team. She started driving for rideshare apps at night to cover the gap. The city that once promised prosperity for anyone willing to hustle now feels stacked against its own people. In the shadow of billion-dollar casinos, the real cost of recovery lands hardest on those with the least power to fight back. In 2023, Las Vegas casinos reported a $100 million loss from cyber attacks, a figure confirmed in MGM's SEC filings. But the evidence shows the true cost shifted to millions of guests and workers. Resort fees rose by up to $8 per night. Buffets reached triple the rate of inflation, and loyalty programs were gutted, changes that together generate nearly $1 billion in extra revenue each year. Meanwhile, workers faced layoffs and automation, and more than 65 million customers' personal data was exposed, with settlements averaging just $20 to $75 per person. What remains unknown is the full scale of data misuse, and internal documents linking every price hike to the breach are still sealed. Today, the math is clear. A one-time loss became a long-term profit engine, leaving everyday people to pay the price. The cyber attack may have made headlines, but it's the silent, ongoing costs to visitors and locals that define the real story.